Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the flight deck. It's been a few weeks, but we're back doing the Mediterranean tour. Kevin, good to see you, even though you're logged on under Jayhog. Hopefully you get out on Tuesday or tomorrow on time, but we'll see how that goes. So we're flying the Boeing 737 business jet. We're currently sitting in Alexandria in Egypt, and this evening's flight will be taking us from here up to Valletta on Malta. So that will be today's flight. No ATC up at the moment in the area, but let's get on board and we can power up the aircraft, get her all ready as we wait for our passengers. Today we have 15 people flying with us in this executive jet over to Malta. All right, so now we're in. We got that beautiful sun ahead of us. Let's make sure we got everything in and connected. Ground power is connected in, chocks are set. So popping up top. Actually, let's pop down. And we'll get the brakes on first. Here we go. Now we'll pop up. Extended holiday, yeah. It's a pain when plans get sidetracked like that. Anyway, let's get the standby power. Our main power on, the battery's on, standby power on, and emergency exit lights are on. We're going to lean back. We'll get the dome light on, and we'll kill the flashlight. We'll carry on. We'll come down to our lights. We'll get the external lights on. We'll get the panel. Brightness is up. There's that one. We'll pop down here for these. So we get our main panel bright. There we go. And we'll come down here now to our lower panel. We'll do one notch on the floods. And like that, just to make it look all nice. The circuit breaker's on as well. All right, so with that done, we're going to come down here, lean all the way back again, and we'll get the IRSs up and aligning. So they're now going. And we'll continue on. So we're going to turn the passenger signs on. Electric hydraulic pumps will now come on. Yaw damper will come on. All right, it's kicked off. Oh, that's right. Let's got to get the ground power on. There we go. That's better. Let's try that again. We'll get the yaw damper on. Electric hydraulic pumps are on. There's Molly in the background hearing things outside. Going into guard dog mode. Left half fuel pump on, and we'll get that APU up and going. And there we go. So while we wait for that, we will come over to our panel here, and we'll bring in our flight plan. Remove that, and we'll take a look here. See, we're going to fly out over the Mediterranean, south of Crete, and along here south of Sicily, where we find Malta here, and that's where we're going to be flying to today. All right, temperatures start to stabilize on the EGT. As soon as that stabilizes, we'll get the generator sign. And there we go. So we turn on the APU generators. We'll get the APU bleed on along with the packs, and the isolation valve is confirmed to open. and then we can come down here and start programming. All right, I'm gonna have to update my nav data. It's out of date. I forgot to do that. Just one of the many things that I gotta get caught up on, but that's fine. We'll get that set in. We're good there, and we'll come over to our route, and we're going to request HAE or BA to LMML, Alexandria to Malta. We'll set our fuel, set our payload. 836 miles is correct, and we will select this route. Let's just clear those messages. We'll wait for it to load in. Admin note, no stream tomorrow. We'll be back on Wednesday for the next one of this series. All right, let's load in the route here. And been about 4 weeks since I've flown this thing, so have to remember it all again. Activate and execute. We'll come over to our departure. We're going to be departing no SID, but we're going off on 32 right, direct out. And we'll come back here. We're going to be, there's no stars in Malta. We're going to be landing on runway, I believe it's 13. It's the ILS for 13, and we're going to be coming in at Gouda. And we'll execute that. We can go to our legs. There's our first leg as we come out and right around Quadrant, and then it'll be direct to Gouda and then in from there. And that's all set up there. So over to our initialization. We'll request our information. As mentioned, we have 15 passengers on board for today's flight, and we'll be flying at an altitude of 40,000 feet, or flight level 400. All right, so we'll get the information loaded in. Reserves. I'll alter that. 400 is set. That's all good. Transition altitude is set. And we will just quickly check our reserve. It's going to be, call it 0.9. We'll execute, and then we're going to go 0.9 on the reserve. Put that in there, and that is all good. Over to our N1 limits. That's going to bring us back up to here. We're going to close this quickly, go into our performance tool for takeoff. We're going to be going off on 32 right. We'll import from the aircraft, import the weather, and we'll do our calculations. So we got a huge runway, 11,000 foot, and we have plenty of room. Molly's just lying there, half growling as she's being protective. So cell temperature of 48 degrees, but it wants us doing a TO2, so we're going to select that first. We'll go 48 degrees, put that in, and that is all set. Over to our takeoff data, we're going to put the winds in first, so that's 3030 at 8. I'll get the runway winds in. We'll come back over now. So it wants us doing a flaps 1 takeoff. We'll put in that as our CG. 1100 foot remaining is fine. And for our takeoff V speeds of 123, 124, 141. So that's not bad. So 123, 124, and 131 is set. I'm going to come over here, go to ground services on that side. So we're all set in there, and we have the information we need there. So at this point we would attain our clearance, but we do not have ATC up as mentioned. So we will treat it as we are cleared. Grabbing the, let's just make sure that's the current updated weather, yeah. And I will post it into the chat. 030 at 8, 10 kilometers of visibility, scattered cloud at 2,000 feet, 22 degrees, 2.17 QNH 1020. So we'll go 1020. That's set. No significant changes forecast. Transponder, we're going to set 1,000. Fueling, loading, and boarding is complete. Takeoff data is all entered in. Airport elevation, as you can see, is about 380 feet. So we're going to put our landing elevation at 400. And our cruise will be at 4,000. That is all set up there. So for MCP, climb will be V2 plus 10, so that's going to be 141. Runway heading. It's 318 degrees. And we're going to be going right up to 40,000 feet. And that is set. Flight directors will now both come on. Radios. All right, so 122.8 for Unicom. And 121.5. So VATSIM is starting to use the emergency guard channel. It will be available, which is interesting. 121.5. Go over there, and we're going to pull VHF2 on so we can monitor that. That is all good there. All right, so with that done, let's pull up GSX. We'll get the stairs away. I'm also going to have them remove the ground power and remove the wheel chocks. Pop outside quickly. We can see the stairs to the front and back doors. The L1 and L2 doors are being removed. And we're going to be ready for our push and start. So as they come away, we can call for our push. So doors are closed, ground equipment is clear, chocks are removed. Let's get our push. And we can turn our anti-collision light on now. Should have our guy walking in. There he is. We're going to go tail to the left if we can. Yeah, we should be able to. Tail left.
Hello, Captain.
We're going to be taxiing down this way. All right, so while he's doing that, we'll get ourselves set up inside here.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
There we go. He's set up and get the data on. Don't need the terrain. It's relatively flat. We're going to be heading out over the Mediterranean today. Tug's coming in. We take a quick look outside. We've pulled the cones, wheel chocks are removed, coming in for the gear, beacon's going, and we're going to push back, tail right, nose left, and we'll be facing south. Alexandria area traffic, Caribou 32, push and start, stand 1, facing south. There we go. So, nose right, tail left.
Release parking brakes, please.
Brakes released.
Push. All engines clear. Start at will.
All right, we're going to start at will, so we're going to come up top. We're going to turn on the other fuel pumps. We don't need the center ones because we have no fuel in that. Well, we get a little bit of fuel in the center tanks. We'll turn those on, drain those. That's fine. We can come over here. Packs will come off. And we're going to start engine number 2. We have N1 rotation and 2 rotation. Add fuel. I have installed the Parallel 42 737 SimFX package. Not that we're going to see much today, but at least it's in there. So wingtip vortices, if it was a rainy day, you'd see the condensation and the intakes. Cold start, you get the smoke coming off the engine as the standing oil burns off as the engines warm up. All that good stuff. There's starter cutout on engine 2, so we're going to start engine number 1.
Please set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Brakes are set and starting engine 2. There's fuel. Coming up nicely. And at about 18% on the N1, she'll cut off. And we can carry on the rest of our setup, post-engine start checks. There's start off. We have 2 good starts.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
All right, so as they move on, we'll come up top and carry on. So generators 1 and 2 on the main engines are now on, and we're online on the generators. Engine 1 and 2 bleed air switches are on. Probe heats are coming on. NTS not required. Engine 1 and 2 start switches are now going to continuous. Packs are back on. Recirculation fans to auto, and the isolation valve is to auto. APU bleed is off. APU bleed's coming off. Popping down here.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
It's going to be flaps 1 for takeoff. Flaps 1 selected.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
It should be flaps 1. There we go. That's better. Flaps 1 is selected. Elevator trim is pretty much 5. So we'll set that to 5. There we go. Flight controls. Over to our systems page. And there's full forward, full back, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, right rudder, left rudder, neutral. Engine instruments are looking good. We'll get those up here. We're going LNAV and VNAV. No, we don't have a SID. That's right. That's fine. So we're going to go heading select till we're up. Auto throttle will come on, and warning recall. We can check, and it is good. So we're going to come up top. The dome light will go off. And there we go. We're looking good. They've pulled everything away. Final check outside. And we are good. So taxi light will come on. Auto brakes are to RTO. And we are ready to taxi. Alexandria area traffic, Caribou 32 taxiing from the main apron to runway 32 right via the apron, Mike, Tango, uniform, holding short 32 right. All right, brakes are released. Lots of power. And away we go. Now there's a big update coming to the 737 with PMDG shortly, integrating some of the stuff they brought in on the 777, which should be good. And of course, we're about a month away from release of 2024. We'll see how that shakes out when that's released. All right, so as we taxi down here, menu, and you can go to your legs page. All right, so we're going to come down here, make this right, and then it'll be an immediate left. And that will take us all the way down to uniform, or we'll cut in for runway 32 right. Interesting. All right, so looks like we are going to have to go around here. Now, I don't know if this is default scenery or if this is an add-on I've got where they've gone and done this. But we're going to have to get a little creative here. So we'll go back over here to Mike, and the auto throttle coming off as I play around with the power settings here. Because there's no real taxiways on the other side to get down. It's all backtracking. Because the other apron on the other side is military. And I think helicopters. So I'm going to go right across, and I'm going to use 32 left as a taxiway. Alexandria area traffic data construction on taxiway Tango. We are going to be taxiing Gulf, crossing 32 right, and backtracking 32 left down to Alpha. There's our runway. And 32 left, and I noticed the sign for 32 right back ways was wrong. It was reversed. That's fine. We'll backtrack down. And these are almost 2 mile long runways, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get down to the far end. So we can build up a little bit of speed on these things as they are runways, but we'll keep it under 30 knots. That's the military apron over there. And we're going to take this right down to the end. Paying for the entire runway, we might as well use it. This might be part of the Africa pack that I've got, and it's done some customizations to the field. All right. So at least there's no traffic here right now. There is somebody inbound, but they're a long way off. All right, so here we are, 32 right on Alpha. All right, we'll come to a halt. And we'll do our check. So fuel flow reset, looking for even fuel flow. We have even fuel flow. V speeds are set, 123, 124, 131 MCP, 141. 318, 40,000, flight level 400 set. Radios are set, nav data is good. So, position lights will go to strobe and steady. Taxi light off, turn off lights are on, landing lights are on. Engines are continuous. Transponder is set to TARA. Traffic is now on both sides. Runway is confirmed. Know where we are. And clock will set once we are lined up. Alexandria area traffic. Caribou 32, take a position. Runway 32 right. It's supposed to be position. All right, let's move out. So another couple weeks, our clocks change. And we'll be putting our streams an hour earlier for me. There's where the other taxiway comes out. The one we should have been on. All right, there we are, lined up and ready to go. So brakes are set, engines to 40%. Clock is ticking. Alexandria area traffic, Caribou 32, departing runway 32 right, straight out departure to the north. Brakes released. Takeoff power is set. Airspeed's live. Check.
V1. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. There's autopilot, VNAV, LNAV. Nose down for acceleration. All right, positive rate. Gear is up, autopilot is on, auto brakes are off, gear lever is now off, engine start switches are off, runway turnoff lights are off. And flaps up. Cabin is, pressure is correct. Accelerating to 250 knots and increasing climb. And over to standard pressure. There's the Mediterranean coast. And we're climbing out nicely. $8,500 feet, climbing at 4,100 feet per minute. There's a few clouds in the area. Should be a nice night flight. There's 10,000 feet. So landing lights coming off. Turn-off lights are off, taxi lights are off, logo lights are off, position lights are strobe and steady, anti-collision light is on. There's the fuel out of the inner tanks is done. So it's now off. We've drained those. Pressurization is good. Turning off the seatbelt signs in the back. Accelerating up to our climb speed. And we're looking good. So if we pop outside, not a lot to see. A little bit of illumination from the moon. About a half moon there over the Med. There's the Egyptian coast, city of Alexandria. There's the airport. Egypt, or Cairo, is back over that way. We're heading off now, climbing up to our cruise. Again, not much to see outside. It's all good. If we take a look in the back, you can see our seating area here in the business jet. Looking all nice. Both sides, although we can't really see anything. It's a little bit of moonlight there on the water. But it's a nice place to be for a flight. So as we come up through 16,000 feet, that's a little bit of music on. So I'm going to go off mic for a while, do some work here, and I'll be in the chat. I'll leave you with the music and the tunes as we continue to cruise along. All right, well, we're about 90 miles out from top of descent, so we can start doing our prep work here to make sure that we are all set and ready for our approach and landing. Now, no standard arrival plates or routing. We're basically going to be directly in on the approach, so we're just going to pull it up, and we're going to pop down and check our legs for our altitudes at our spots here. So at Gooder, it wants us at 3,000 feet. Here says above 3,000, but we're going to hard line that at 3,000 feet. And it'll execute that. At Lacombe, it's going to be 3,000 feet as well. Nedox, it wants us at 3,000. We'll hard line that. There we go. So that is all entered in. And then at Neben, 3,000 feet, and that's where we're going to intercept the ILS. So that's all entered in now. Missed approach, as it says, we're going to climb out to 3,000 feet and we'll be vectored from there. So that is all set and ready there. We're going to come down to our fixed page and we'll get in the airport. We're going to put in our standard 4-mile ring, so everything has to be done and stabilized at 4 miles. Our 10-mile ring, and then we're going to go runway heading, which is going to be 312 degrees, and that will give us an extended center line for 25 miles, and that is in. All right, so with that, then we'll pop back up. We'll check the weather. I'm going to pull it up and get the most recent. We'll throw that into the chat, and then we can review it. All right, so as you can see, it says winds are 150 at 6 knots, 10 miles of visibility, few clouds at 1,000 feet, few clouds at 1,700, towering cumulus 22 degrees, dew point 20, QNH 1025. So we'll dial that in so it's ready to go, 1025. Looks like we're going to have some changes coming for light rain showers, and apparently there's lightning to the northeast, so it looks like we've got some active weather in the area. If I pull up the weather on, yeah, so we're going to have some weather. We're going to be descending down through some clouds, and there's definitely some stronger concentrations of weather to the north and northeast. And Molly, you're just gonna have to wait until we're done here. All right, so I'm gonna leave the weather chart up just so I can see what I am going to be facing. So we should be good coming down from there. So let's get down to our approach and our frequencies here for the ILS and everything. So we'll come down and tune it in. It's going to be a frequency of 109.7. So it'll be 109.7. And that is the ILS frequency is in. There's no NDB frequency or VORs there that I can see, which is fine. Course is 132 degrees, so we'll come in, we'll set that up in there on 132. So that is now entered in, and we're all set with the ILS frequency. Missed approach again, 3,000 feet. We're going to be coming down to that 3,000 feet anyway, so that will already be set. Airport elevation is 297 feet, so we can come down here and put in 300 for our airport elevation for our landing. All right. Just lie down, Molly. Lie down. So let's go through the list. Destination weather, we have done. Arrival data will now set. So we're going to pop down here. And I'm actually going to kill the music now. There we go. So we'll come down here. We're going to go into our ref. We're going to take 40 on the flaps. We'll put that in and get that in, and there's our wing correction. Yeah, I know you're there. I just fed you. Lie down, and I'll take you outside when we're down. Okay, so that's all in and set, and we're good there. Radios we have set, and we're still on Unicom 122.8 and on a guard channel of 121.5. Localizer is in of 109.7, and the course is laid in on 132 degrees. Anti-ice, we'll take a look because we'll see if we get any moisture as we come in, and we'll decide then if we're going to go with the anti-ice. Warning recall, we'll pop over and do a check. No, we're all good there, and no indications. MCP is now set. We're going to come in here down to 3,000 feet. That's what we're going to descend down to. And we are set for that. Altimeters, we've got our altimeter in on 1025 and ready to go. Minimums on the approach, it's going to be the standard ILS. It's going to be 455 feet on the barrow. It's 300, 400, and 55 feet. That's 200 feet above the ground. Approaching Mr. Approach, as mentioned, we're going to fly runway heading, climbing to 3,000 feet, and then we'll go from there. We'll basically steer ourselves around. For auto brake, it is a long runway. It's 11,000 feet. So we are going to use, just looking at where we're going to be landing. We're going to use auto brakes 2. And for some reason, I'm drawing a complete blank on my head here. That's too, oh, I don't know why I'm so pushed up there. There we go. We'll go auto brakes 2. Forgot I'd boosted my seat up. So that's all set, and we are ready for descent. As you can see, it's coming up. We're 26 miles from top of descent, and we'll be heading down. We're going to have that weather in here. I mean, we can turn on the weather radar, but it is in up. As you can see, the sticker is right there, so it's not going to do anything. We will put on the terrain radar, though, just to ensure that we have that little bit of extra as we come in. And I think we were all set and ready to descend down. So traffic, there is a couple aircraft inbound. We're going to be the first one in, and there's a couple apparently, well, there's a couple in the air, and I think one ready to go. Still no ATC. That's fine. We'll make our call outs as we close in. Now, where we're going to be parking here, we're going to go to, we want 8 and 9 for our stands. So if I pull up charts, taxi, stands. Yeah, there we go. 8 and 9. 8 south. We're going to be going in and parking there, and then we'll have some cars come over to get our people. So fuel use is good. We have 4.3 tons on board. We're just about to start our descent, and we'll go into minimal fuel use at that point. Everything else is all set up and ready to go. So we'll be back on Wednesday with the next leg, and Friday with the leg after that. No streams this weekend, but it will be 3 this week, and everything is looking good. So we got about 9 miles to go. We're just waiting for that. We'll start down on our own, and we'll keep an eye on that speed. We'll use 280 on our conversion. We'll hold it down there, and again, just watching the weather radar on Navigraph as we come in. There might be some heavier precipitation. We'll see about the de-icing. It's looking to see some clouds and stuff coming in. That's the bottom of Sicily, I believe, out there, and then pretty much right ahead is Malta, right there. There we go. So we're an hour and 44 minutes into the flight, and it's been a quiet one. And down we go. So we're beginning our descent. We'll make our first call here at Godak. That's the last point on our route, and then we're going to be flying directly to our entry point into the approach. So we'll make our call there. And again, we're going to watch our speed. When it gets up to 280, we'll put that in and have the aircraft try to hold that speed on the way down. Of course, the airspeed in knots is going to slowly increase, while the airspeed in Mach will not increase. That's due to the increased air density as we get lower. Denser the air, the more air is pushing on the sensors that read airspeed, which is why that slowly starts going up. You know, more dense air pushing, it can push harder on it, and you can get an increased reading. Which is why you have all your calibrations done to adjust for altitude and everything. All right, transition level here is 7,000 feet. We'll do it around 10. Set the altimeter over to local pressure. Same time we put on the landing lights. Alright, 280 is coming up, so we're going to go to speed intervention. We're going to switch over to knots, and we'll go 280. See if the aircraft will hold it there. Should roll back to full idle. And we are on profile. A little bit of dark cloud down there as well. That's 3,100 feet. And again, we'll keep an eye out on that cloud lover. Guard dog Molly. It's okay, girl. Yeah, let me just call her back. Alright, she's back. Just gotta try to get her to calm down. You just have a seat for a bit until we're landed? Yeah, have a seat till we're landed? Yeah, good girl. Alright, so we're making that turn at Godex. We'll make her a call. Malta area traffic, Caribou 32 overhead, Godex. Sending through flight level 268 inbound for the ILS runway 13 Malta. Alright, not seeing too bad a cloud yet, but we'll see how that builds up. Speed's holding very well. And you can see our rings, and you can see the banana right where it should be for 3,000 feet. We got the extended center line there, and then our missed approach in blue, which is fly straight out. Runway heading at 3,000 feet, and then vector at that point. Probably do a right-hand turn, come up the other way to the other point, and then come in and re-intercept. But not anticipating needing that. Yeah, cloud's not looking too bad. So, not too worried about the weather. So it looks like this route's going to take us past the main island up to Gozo and then back down to Valletta. Or actually, I think it's just outside Valletta. We're coming up and almost halfway down. We'll get the seat belts on in the back. I'll make sure the cabin crew know to start prepping the cabin for landing. coming up on 20,000 feet. That's halfway down on our descent. So the airport's located just about there on the island. And we're looking good. Another inbound aircraft hasn't taken off yet. No, still on the ground up at the other airport. So we don't have anything to worry about with other incoming traffic at the moment. We're looking good. A little bit above profile. Put a little bit of speed brake out. See if we can get us back down on that line. Doesn't make much difference. We do have the deceleration point coming up. Which will make the adjustment for. We're 10 miles out. We'll bring that down to 245. Again, that brings us below 250. We go 5-degree flaps. Which we're going to want. There's the harbor. There's the town. As you can see, we'll be coming over the top here and making that left-hand pattern. Malta area traffic, Caribou 32, approximately 25 miles to the east-northeast, inbound for the ILS runway 13, Malta. Alright, so deceleration points coming up. We're going to switch over to local pressure. So that speed starting to come back. Oh, we'll get the landing lights on, we'll put the logo lights on, get the wing lights on. There's 260. $255. And there's through 250, so flaps 5. Flaps 5 set. we're going to decelerate down to 200 knots for that first turn. It does have a maximum speed of... Actually, it doesn't have a maximum speed given, just a maximum altitude. But 200 is a good maneuvering speed as we hit the initial approach fix there. There's the airport. There's the cross runway. We're going to be coming in from this side. All right, there's us through 7,000 feet. Or into the 7,000s. So cabin pressurization is working well. Landing lights are on, turn-off lights are on, seatbelt signs are on, and cabin lights are set. Approach course, nav course, and frequency 132 and 1097 are set. Speeds are within limits. Speed brakes will now arm. It's 10 miles. We'll bring our speed down to 200. And then we'll go flaps 10. It's 220. It's below 210, so flaps 10. Here we're doing flaps 40 landing. Approach reference, our reference speed is 120. That's our landing speed, so we're going to want a 125 on our approach. That's ref plus 5. If we had some really gusty winds we were coming in on, we'd go ref plus 10. Just in case the winds gusted and dropped off, you want to carry a little bit of extra speed to allow for that change over the wings. It's 1,300 feet to go to platform altitude. And 4 miles to Gooder. 1,000 to go. It's 3,200 feet. There's the turn. Malta area traffic, Caribou 32 overhead Gooder 3,000 feet, turning inbound to intercept the ILS runway 13 Malta. Final weather check. Yeah, slight crosswind from the right. There's the Isle of Gozo, and there's the main island over there. We are showing localizer. Glide slope just kicked in as we're getting closer to that center line, and we are 15 miles away. So with both glide slope and localizer showing, we can arm approach. VOR localizer and glide slope are both in the arm. Engine 1 and 2 start switches are now going to continuous. Alright, we got the airport there, and just start making out the runway. There's the localizer capture. Speed down to 185. Use the turn to help bleed speed. There's the runway identified. Twelve and a half miles. That wind will come around to a headwind as we get lower. So according to the forecast, it should. All right, we're in high sensitivity mode on the localizer as we're slowly coming in. It's 10 miles. Glide slope's alive. (3,000 feet holding), 9 miles. Gear down. Speed back to 165, gear down 3 green, flaps 15. Glide slope capture.
2,500.
Going to hold 165 to 4 miles. Flaps 25. Cabin's notified, lights are all on, gear down 3 green. Runway's identified, just waiting on the flaps. It's 4.5 miles. 4 miles, speeds back to 125. It's 160 flaps 30. 1,000 feet, flaps full. Flaps 40. Gear down 3 green, flaps full. And we are set. Wind's not coming around yet. It's supposed to be 030. Or 130. It's 500 feet. I have control. This is decreasing. Ninety knots. $70 knots. Reversers off. Manual braking. We're going to get off here at Delta. And welcome to Malta. Malta area traffic, Caribou 32, clear runway 13 at Delta, taxiing to South Apron 8, or Apron 8 South. All right, let's get ourselves cleaned up. So, flaps are up, speed brakes are retracted. Clear that, transponder. Go to standby. Position lights will go steady, strobe off. Turn off lights. Landing lights are off, or never turn those on. That's fine. Taxi light is on. We're going to start the APU. In case we didn't need it, probe heats are coming off. Engine start switches are off, and auto brake is off. We'll clear the cautions, and we're going to taxi down to stand. Let's see if they'll give us 21. Parking.
The chosen position is too small for your aircraft.
No. Alright, let's head down there, see what we got. So this is the main air terminal here. default scenery. Now we follow this up. We should be passing through a short little lane up into the... There's another apron over here. Apron 8 south. Currently there's an 8 north. But I'm hoping that we'll see some parking spots up there. Maybe not. Yeah, it's not world model, it's this area right here. This is where the entryway would be. Well, we're gonna put her in here anyway. And then we'll readjust for when we depart. Because I've got to go take care of little Miss Molly. And oh, it's okay. There we go. All right, so let's pop up top. We'll get the lights on. Okay, parking brakes are on. We're gonna pop down here. We'll go into here and tell them, put in the chocks, give us ground power. With the APU generators up at the moment, get the APU bleeds on as well. Turn those off, that off. Turn the engines off. We'll turn off the collision wing lights. We'll leave the logo. Yeah, we'll leave the logo lights on. So good, ground equipment is coming in. Fuel pumps will go off. Isolation valve will open, and flight directors will come off. All right, so that is us here in Malta. Thanks for coming along, and we will see you all on the next one. Take care. Bye for now.